Let me call Linus Tech Tips before I end because he's been wanting me to do something. I really don't understand what the question is, but I'm going to try to be helpful. Linus freaking Tech Tips. Hello? Linus?
Show Bluetooth devices.
Well, Linus, are you struggling to work Discord?
Connect. All right, let's see if this works.
Linus.
Okay.
Linus freaking Tech Tips. Hello? Hello, 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 hello. What is up? Can you hear me?
Hey, what? Do you have video by any chance?
I do. Yeah, I can throw it on for you. Is it all right if I'm live streaming?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me get my video up for you. One moment, please.
Awesome, terrific.
How are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm all right. Never a dull moment, man. Another day in paradise.
Dude, you just like used 3 different alts to talk about how your day's going. It sounds like you're stressed.
I'm always stressed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right.
That's my secret, Lud.
I'm always stressed. Okay, how's that? Can you see me all right?
Yeah, pretty good. Okay. I guess you'll have. Do you have a local recording of this too? Then,
Yes.
Oh, well, then that's amazing. Can I get it from you after the call?
Yes. Is it all right that there's some debris on the screen? Like I have chat on the screen. Do you want me to remove chat?
I am more likely to use the footage if you do. It will be more usable, but you don't have to.
I'll get one chat message on the screen in the bottom left.
Because are we negotiating?
Yeah. I gave you one. You can crop it, but I gave you one.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. So, I mean, chat probably, I assume, doesn't really know what we're doing right now then, right?
No. In fact, I don't really know what we're doing.
Oh, man, God, how are you such a, like, Gen Z? You're not even that young. I don't even understand what's going on. I literally emailed you exactly what we're doing. I think twice.
Problem? No, okay. I actually thought a bit about this. Do you want to give the context or should I?
I know, yeah, I'll pitch it. I'm actually just trying to find the what the hell freaking inbox am I in here? I'm actually trying to find the interview questions that I lined up. But in the meantime, why don't I go ahead and just kind of talk through what we're doing? I'm working on a piece for my channel that's going to be called the working title is like A World Without Windows. And it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately because I don't know if you noticed, I don't blame you if you don't watch my channel, you're a busy guy, but we did a series recently on switching to Linux. So me and a couple members of my team just dumped our Windows machines out of our lives, switched to Linux for a month, and then in a massive shocker to all 3 of us, at the 30-day mark, none of us went running right back to Windows, which has never happened before.
You mean the operating system Windows?
Yes. We all love Natural Light still.
Okay.
Natural Light, A+, Windows operating system, exfiltrating all of our data, harassing us about, how much we just love Xbox gaming and whether we want a free trial of this or we want to play Cut the Rope or Candy Crush or whatever. We're kind of reaching a point in our lives where we're just kind of wondering, what straw is going to be the one to break the camel's back, And what I realized is that, in talking about all of this, all 3 of us had really similar perspectives because, surprise, surprise, we all work at the same company doing a lot of the similar jobs, right? And so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, like, what would happen if tomorrow Windows stopped existing? And how do I get some different perspectives on what that would feel like? And so I put together kind of a list of industry like creator contacts that I have whose opinions I value and who I think do really great work. And I reached out to all of them and I went, you were my second choice. No, I kid. Massive respect for what you do. And I thought, I want to get some outsider perspective. So in no particular order, I want to kind of go through the questions that I sent over that hopefully you've been festering on a little bit. And I want to start with, is Windows now the primary operating system in your life?
I would say it is like half. I'm split between Windows operating system and then Mac operating system.
Oh, that's great. You jumped right ahead to my second question, which was the how often do you use it? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to assume as a content creator, Mac is really going to be dominant for you for production and, editing. And then Windows is going to be gaming.
So I split it by device, I suppose. My stream PC runs on the Windows operating system. And then I have a laptop where I do some maybe planning work, you could say. Very simple things, usually in like Google Suite, like Sheets and Docs and whatever, calendar. And that I just do on my laptop, which is a Mac Air. And then my phone, I don't know if we're going to phones. I'm using
sure, yeah.
iOS, so that's also separate. And then I have another laptop, which is also Windows, which is what I use. If I basically want to stream, I have to use Windows right now. That's like what makes me use Windows. And so I have like a beefier laptop that has Windows that I use for streaming and gaming. And then if I need something just like whatever, light, chill, portable, and I just use Mac.
Got it. This is not in the script, but right now you're Windows Mac. You're like, which of the multi-trillion-dollar tech giants would I like to lick the boots of today? Have you considered it all? Have you ever considered trying Linux in the form of SteamOS or any other form?
My software engineer, we have a full-time engineer named Otto, who is fully Linux. He uses Linux at the office. And he did a Linux shortcut that I thought was cool one time. It was just window resizing. And I was like, that's cool. How do you get that? Because I didn't realize he was on Linux. And he's like, oh, you can't. It's Linux only. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And that was the only time I've thought about using Linux, was that 5-second moment.
Okay, that's it. So would you say that that's because macOS and Windows fulfill your needs so well, or just out of convenience?
I think it's the entry, like the barrier of entry. Like I would not take the time to sit down and make my PC run on the Linux operating system. I just want it to work out the box so I can just boot up stream. Like I actually find myself, although I'm a streamer or whatever, pretty tech illiterate. And so the less pain points I have, the better. And that tends to make me go to the big guys.
Okay. This actually ties in really well with the next question. So if you weren't given the choice, if somebody reached Prismo's room and their wish was that Windows never ever even existed, how long do you really think that would inconvenience you for? And I want to, before you answer in a complete question, because this is kind of or a complete sentence answer, because this is kind of an interview. Before you answer, I want you to give yourself a little bit more credit, because I have watched you. I personally watched you like troubleshoot technical issues, and you're not as not tech savvy as you make yourself out to be. So I don't buy that.
I think it would plague me for weeks. I think the initial setup, I would need help. Okay. I'd call an Auto. I'd say, if somebody took a time machine, they went back and they shot Bill Gates in the skull when he was a child, which would be bad because child murder I'm against. But if they did that and then Windows never exists, I wouldn't swap to Mac, because I used a Mac growing up. That was like my first laptop, and I found myself unable to play a lot of games that my friends were playing. So I would want something that I feel like was beefier. Hence, I'd go to Linux, because I do have some friends who use it. I think the issue would come with like small, like little troubleshooting things that I would just have to relearn. Like, for example, like emulators for GameCube on PC, or specifically Windows, and like the best optimization for controllers. like GameCube controllers, like I'm pretty comfortable doing that on Windows. And I know the software I have to download and where to download it. And I feel like I would have to maybe relearn, because I don't know if it's always available, like Windows, Mac, in Linux. Because sometimes it only has Windows and it doesn't have anything else. Like it doesn't have Mac as an alternative. So I would just need to like find what the alternatives are. Like there's some things I just don't know about.
It's interesting to me that even for someone like you, whose exposure to Linux is, by your own admission, pretty limited, and who, like me, has a job to do, right? Like in a lot of ways, I still love tech, and I am capable of troubleshooting, and I still enjoy tinkering sometimes. But then a lot of the time, I actually just have a job to do, and I need my tech to just work. But even for you, you still gave me an answer that I thought was really interesting. You described it as being an inconvenience for weeks, not for months, not for years, weeks. And the ways, it's funny, again, for someone who hasn't used Linux that much, you've actually kind of nailed what a lot of the little annoyances are. Like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Okay. This is really cool. So here's a question for you. And it doesn't have to be Bill Gates is shot in the head as a child, because I think we can both agree that we're against child murder.
In all forms.
But let's say that it wasn't like that. Let's say that just it magically ceased existing. Everybody remembered that Windows did exist, but the source code was lost. Do you think the world would be overall better or overall worse? In a complete sentence answer, just like in grade 3.
Would the world be overall better if the source code for Windows was lost? No, I don't think so. I don't think the world can ever be better if you lost information. I don't think less options is ever better. It maybe forces some people to explore options that could be better for them, but I think having less choice is never better.
I think that's a really fair answer. What would you miss about Windows?
What would I miss about Windows? Windows 95 pinball. Probably Windows 95
honestly,
pinball.
That's such an answer already right there.
Yeah.
The fact that you have to think about it so hard. What would I miss about Windows? Damn, what would I miss?
No, it probably would be Windows 95 pinball for me.
The Space Cadet table is the best that you can come up with.
Or the screensavers. They have some really good screensavers.
They have some banger screensavers.
Also, actually, in this one, I looked at chat for Riot Games.
Yeah.
Because League of Legends is not supported, I think, on Linux currently.
Now we're getting into the meat of it. So when I asked, would a world without Windows be better? I thought that was a really thoughtful take. You know, less choice, generally better. I'm very pro-choice for consumers. I think that it is a net benefit to consumers to have more options. However, Windows's dominant position puts people in a situation exactly like what you're describing, where by having Windows be the only platform on which many anti-cheats and DRM solutions function, it actually can end up limiting choice in addition to increasing choice, if that kind of makes sense. Windows is a double-edged sword in that it's a near de facto monopoly in the gaming space. And so Riot and other game developers will simply not develop their anti-cheat and their DRM to run on anything other than Windows. So with that piece of information, do you want to revise your answer, or do you want to give sort of more nuance to that?
I don't think I would change it per se. Like, I think the bigger issue isn't the existence of Windows. It's like the size and the majority share, the market share that Windows has. But I think that like has some cascading effects. I don't necessarily think if it's deleted forever that it isn't just replaced by a similar problem. Like I think that could always be the issue to some extent. Yeah, I don't know. I would also, I just don't have enough experience too with Linux. Like I've never used Linux, and I don't know a fourth. Can I say that? I know about Windows. I know about Linux. I know about Mac OS. I don't know a fourth. What's a fourth?
Oh, man, I don't know how deep you want to get into this. I actually don't have your chat up, so I have no idea how much they're enjoying this or they hate it.
Oh yeah, Temple OS.
Okay, not Temple OS. Oh god, we don't need to go there.
A world with only Temple OS. Would it be better than Windows?
It would be wider.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So Linux is not an operating system, and this we're going to get into some real like neckbeard shit here real quick. Linux is actually a kernel. It is one component of a functioning operating system that also has to include a desktop environment, a terminal, in many cases like an app store equivalent, like an app delivery mechanism of some sort. And so Linux is actually more like an overarching term for an entire vast family of operating systems that are anywhere from complete memes like Hannah Montana Linux all the way to very serious enterprise software like Red Hat Linux. And of those serious ones, there are still, at least a solid dozen plus. I'm talking guys like Arch, Ubuntu, Red Hat, that are running very serious businesses.
I've heard of Ubuntu. I thought that was a browser.
No, Ubuntu is run by Canonical, and that's a funny thing is it's all open source. You can download Ubuntu for free. Canonical is a very real company with very real revenue that maintains it and provides a degree of sort of continuity that you can't necessarily get from more community-driven projects. And there are some great community-driven projects too, like Bazite, CachyOS are really popular right now in the gaming community.
So,
but yeah, go ahead.
What is the operating system like mostly used with Linux?
Well, that's one of the big challenges in it because of the big boys, there's a lot of interoperability, but there's also a lot of things that won't necessarily work the way that you expect. You download the Linux version of some program that you like. It comes in a .deb file, and you go, I'm on Linux, double click. And if you're on Arch, by the way, it's like straight up won't open unless you have pre-installed the dependencies and hacked the mainframe, so to speak. And so one of the big challenges in adoption of Linux is that people don't understand it very well. And that degree of choice and that degree of customizability can cause like uncertainty and paralysis, which is one of the things that I think is so exciting about what Valve is doing with SteamOS. SteamOS is a great example of how it's not Linux, it's SteamOS. It's based on Arch with some customizations that Valve has worked on.
What's the kernel?
So Linux. It uses the Linux kernel.
Then I use Linux. I didn't know this.
Then it is Linux.
I have a Steam Deck.
You have a Steam Deck. Then okay. Would you like to revise the percentage of time you spend in various operating systems?
I would throw at least 6% in Linux.
Okay. How has it been? How do you like Linux? We know you're a user.
The Steam OS, because I just click the game that I want and then I play the game. Although I will say I wanted to play Assassin's Creed. There's a new Assassin's Creed called Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. And I wanted to play
I'm not that much of a boomer. I know about the new Assassin's Creed, you fuck.
You know about it?
Come on, man.
Wow. I figured you're still playing, I don't know, Tetris or something. But okay. All right. So I wanted to play it on my Steam Deck.
Rock, paper, scissors, brother.
I wanted to play it on my Steam Deck. And and I looked up, is it possible? Because I technically have it on not Steam, but Ubisoft Connect.
Nice.
And so I was like, can I get the Ubisoft on my Steam Deck? And I Googled it, and you actually can. It was so fucking confusing, so I didn't do it. It wasn't like download the game and play it. It was like add the Ubisoft Connect client into your Steam Deck, and then from there, like from the web browser, you can like add a page in your Steam library that connects to it automatically, and then you can boot it up. Like it's a doable thing, but it was enough of a deterrent that I was like, I'll just play a different video game on the plane. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's fair.
And I assume
To be
like similarly, I assume similarly, and maybe it's also like the controls of it. Like I could probably boot up some emulators on my Steam Deck with a bit of effort. But it's something that I haven't dove into because I find it like more of a pain in the butt. Partially also because like, you know, there's no keyboard, there's no mouse. It's like I'm not trying to, you know, type in on the with like the touchpad or whatever because I don't like using that. So I just stick to Steam games. Like I feel a little limited.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's really fair. I think that's a really fair observation. Is there anything else that those questions kind of made you think about as you were festering on them over the last couple of days?
Windows usage.
Like, do you feel Windows has gotten better or worse?
I think it got worse than better. My biggest issue with Windows, yeah, well, for sure. I really didn't enjoy Windows like when I was in college. Like I think I liked using Windows XP, and then I got Windows 7, I think is what it was. And I really didn't enjoy the UI of Windows 7. Like I found it hard to like, or maybe it was 8, I forget. But it was like squares. It was like everything was a square or something.
That would be Windows 8.
Yeah.
That was you were about to start dogging on Windows 7, and I was like, whoa, this is gonna be on Dexerto. This is gonna go viral. Windows 8, that's an ice cold take. That Windows 8 was a giant pile of garbage. Okay, carry on.
So, but I didn't like that, and so then I went to like an older version of Windows because I got a new PC that had it, and then I think it's gotten better since then. I think my biggest issue, honestly, with Windows is sometimes when I alt tab in a video game, and I don't know if this is a Windows specific thing, but if I alt tab in a video game, every single monitor goes black when it's full screen, and it glitches out, and it's annoying because I'm streaming and my stream freezes for a moment. And that's my biggest issue currently with Windows.
That is so interesting. And this is exactly why I wanted to get alternative perspectives. It wouldn't occur to me in 1,000 years that display blanking and, you know, quick like renegotiating the display link is like a major issue. But yeah, for you it would be. Obviously.
Yeah, that tilts me crazy. And also I find some issues with Chrome occasionally. Like if I get a lot of subs at once, my Chrome crashes. I don't know. That might just be a Chrome issue.
First world problem.
It is a first world problem, so I'm usually happy to be running into it, but it is something that I occasionally run into.
Oh, that's real interesting. Chat's actually got a pretty good tech tip for you here. If you run full screen windowed, that makes it less likely for the blanking thing to happen. But chat, that's not always an option for them because not every like rando emulator or whatever has a full screen windowed mode. So
yeah, and sometimes full screen windowed runs the game lower frame rate. Like for Valorant specifically, it like is a little choppier full screen windowed. So I'm like, at least my coach says to use full screen, and then I have to deal with that. But I usually use just bordered window that I make full screen. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add? Then I can get out of your way and you can go back to being whatever kind of a streamer it is you are these days. I really can't tell.
I think that's
gaming.
it.
I think, right?
Yeah, mostly gaming. No, I think that's it with Windows. I think it is more intimidating to swap but it could probably work. You know, like I used to be braver. Like I had a partitioned disk on my Mac that and I had like a Windows operating system on my Mac. And I think Otto does that. Like he has like a Windows partition on his PC. So like if he needs Windows, he can use it for certain things. But nowadays I just want to like not be on my computer until I have to be on my computer to work, which is streaming for me.
Got it. So that thing where you were just like dropping balls into a bucket, that's a game. That's a game.
That's a game. Yeah, that's a game. That's a game called the Coin Game.
All right, cool. I've been dropping in on the stream periodically because I was just like, hey, did he remember that we're chatting today? And like,
yeah, I had to play the ball game. It is that's they got me 9 of 5. I'm cuffed here, bro. What a job.
How'd you do? Did you win? Did you come in second?
Second place, which I'm happy with.
All right, just like when we did bro versus bro.
Well, that one I was less happy because there was 2 competitors.
Right. That makes sense. All right.
Well, I hope I answered your questions well.
No, this is great. There is no right or wrong answer. It was just, I just really wanted to get some alternate perspectives. I'm really hoping to get Nico from Corridor to get like a really like production perspective. I bugged Hacksmith. I think Hacksmith is in.
Yep.
So to get like a really like maker perspective, and then Luke's reaching out to some of his like dev creator buddies. So I want to get like a developer perspective because I got blind spots, right? And the last thing I want to be is one of those like obnoxious evangelists for something that just plain isn't a good solution for everybody.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. Yeah, I think
this is great.
I think I think that's then my perspective then, Linus.
Yeah. Thank you for this truly productive and enjoyable meeting, sir.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you too. Later, man.